Check, check, check. What's up, guys? Sorry I'm a little late here. I had to run to the store real quick to get my Red Bull and some other items. So, sorry, Laz. Trying to get the show on the road as we speak. Traded futures last night and today. Man, what a night after I got off the live stream. Holy moly. I put 1,800 into two funded accounts, 600 and 1,200, and then I put 700 into a combine from bed. So I had a good night. Actually, I thought it was a good night, and then I regretted not. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed early, 1800. That's a great day. I got my XFA, my backup XFA that started off with two DLLs, right? Minus 350, minus 350. I put 1,200 in that account, so I'm actually green 500 bucks in that account. So I'm pretty happy about that. That's the importance of keeping a daily loss limit, is to not dig the hole super deep, because one good trading day wipes, 2+ red days. But I definitely regretted not. I actually posted in the Top Step Discord that this was going to be a night to short and just chill, right? Leave the positions overnight, and I closed mine. I didn't even leave runners. And the worst part was I just kept watching it, bleed out, dump. Was helping some other traders, pointing out the reversals back down, and I just didn't trade. I thought I was going to go to bed. I ended up staying up till like 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. Slept for like 2 hours and then got up, for New York Open. But I missed what probably would have been like a solid 4-figure or potentially 5-figure day. So that was kind of hard to accept, but that's, trying to look at the bright side. I could have hit DLL. I could have, a lot of different things could have happened. I ended up green. Solid win. Really can't complain about it, but that's not how my brain works, unfortunately. So we do have a 4-hour setup that triggered here, but it's a 2 up in red currently. Here's the 4-hour with this green 2 down. Trying to trigger to the upside. Inside bar on the 30. So little gap up, filled the gap, and now I don't really have we do have a 12-hour inside bar, which I kind of like. So if we look at the 12-hour, this big inside bar here. So while I've got this open, I'm going to set an alert on this in case that breaks and we're not watching. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. Was a crazy 1,000-point dump followed by a 400-point bounce into New York Open. I think it actually ended up going higher than that. I think this low to pre-New York was 400 points. Yeah, 400 points, and then I missed the open. Like, I wanted to hit the buy button, and I just didn't. And then I stopped trading because I had a feeling it was going to be kind of shitty. And it was. I'm glad I slept through all this. Like, this is just kind of messy here. So, yeah, I mean, this was crazy. This ended up being a 654 point move to the upside, followed by a decent pullback here, 323. So, I mean, there was volatility in here. It just wasn't clean. Wasn't clean price action. Definitely not like this right here, where you've got this move down, little corrective activity, a shooter candle. That's where I think I ended up getting in. I think we were off the stream by then. And I traded this down. Part of the reason I didn't leave runners is I only had 6 micros in my primary trading account, my primary XFA. So I didn't have a lot to, like, I could have scaled half, but I just wasn't, I decided to take the quick money. And I kind of regret it, but it's always easy to say in hindsight, but there were definitely other, there were other opportunities to get into this. Here was a 3, 2 up shooter, 2 down that just bled out. This one bar, this reversal, a 1-3 rev strat that I pointed out to somebody. Got another one here, 1-3 rev strat. Here's another one, 1-3 rev strat. Yeah, I missed this big move down here. I must have fallen asleep somewhere around 4:30, or I stopped looking at charts. I was listening to somebody stream London Open. But I'm gonna be careful here. I mean, I mentioned before I like these gap fills and reversal. That would have worked, but gonna try and be a little patient here. Yeah, that was good for 42 points. I should have taken a shot at it. I like those. At least off the 1 minute hammer candle here. Made an entry, made an attempt. Whoops, right here. This broke and just kind of went. So be in a risk-free position right now. But it's okay. I'm going to try and grind these accounts up this week, get another payout, hopefully, if I can get 5 days of 200 plus. If not, I'll wrap them up next week. So it would be a good way to start February with a decent payout, hopefully. Yes, guy on a stream last night, Green Day, mentioned, I feel like an idiot for not even recognizing the risk to NQ on that news kind of being as hyped as it was over the weekend. And some people are saying, oh, it wasn't that, it was Trump tariffs on Colombia. I can assure you it was DeepSeek. There's no doubt in my mind. When you've got US tech companies, Meta announced they were going to spend 30 to 50 billion in capex, capital expenditures in 2025 on AI data centers and hardware. And then you find, and then a company comes out and releases a model that can run on phones or locally on devices. It's open source. They did it with a team of 200 people for supposedly under 50 million. Now, you got to question anything coming out of China because, the CCP is involved in most everything going on over there. But the fact is that this model is out there and it's open source and it competes with OpenAI for a fraction of the cost. So, I mean, that's why Nvidia was down 13, 14%. All the the Mag 7 tech stocks that have been pouring billions into AI were down. So I've seen people say it was, Bank of Japan. That may have had some, raising interest rates. That may have had something to do with it. Anytime Trump mentions tariffs, we're going to get some movement, but not a 130, 40 point gap down and then 1,000 point sell off. That is complete fear in tech of US losing AI dominance and overspending on some of this stuff. So we'll see what happens. I do feel dumb that I just didn't, immediately connect the dots on big gap down has to do with this AI model. And shout out to Green Day in here who pointed it out. And I told him it was a very solid, strong hypothesis or thesis as to why NQ was getting beat up. Because at the time, ES was not nearly as beat up. Now, people are like, well, how come gold and all these other assets are down? When you've got tech like selling off 5%, I mean, there's fear. It's the same reason that everything dumped during COVID. You would think gold and commodities on some level would hold their values, especially something like gold. Now, oil is a different story, but you would think metals, at least gold as a safe haven asset would hold up. But when there's panic, it's people are just taking their money out. Big institutions are staying protective, and they'll wait to see how things shake out. In my opinion, I'm just another idiot here trying to make money as a trader. So, but that's what my belief is based on my experience in markets and what I know about. I've done a lot of about what I know about DeepSeek and AI. It's I've spent a lot of time playing with models, and I still want to create Strat GPT at some point, but it probably won't happen. Too focused on trading at this point. Green Day today was my biggest day ever. Nice. Yeah, Green Day. Thanks for mentioning that. I wanted to point that out as soon as we started streaming. One of the reasons I'm not in a hurry to jump into a position is because we have Trump speaking live. So my family, I'm visiting family. I asked them, I'm like, is he speaking live now? And they were like, yeah. I said, okay. I got to remind myself and anybody else who's watching this that you got to be on high alert, right? Best to not be in a position if he drops the T word, mentions tariffs in some way, or whatever he might say can have a significant impact on the way the market moves. So you don't want to get caught on the wrong side of you know the market reaction to whatever Trump is talking about. Green Day said today was my biggest day ever. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I feel like today should have been my biggest. I love to be a bear. I love to trade shorts. The moves are fast, they are hard, they are aggressive. People just panicking. Um, Last night I saw some people in Top Step trying to long, and I just kept checking in like, long's okay, you guys okay? If you liked it 50 points ago, now's your moment. Jump in because you trade with the trend. Sellers were completely dominating, and people were trying to catch the bottom. Never a good way to trade, in my opinion. Like, just go with the flow, man. You got big, heavy hitters selling. We tag along and move in their direction. What's up, Busy? So yeah, I feel like I should have had a much better day. This is kind of the day that I've been waiting for over the past like 2 weeks. A really kind of aggressive move, either up or down, and I don't feel like I capitalized on it as well as I could or should have. But we can play the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. Any other time, would I be happy making 1,800 in funded accounts and another 700 in a combine? Yeah, that would be a great day. So what makes it any different? Just because there were bigger moves and more opportunity. It's a hard pill for me to swallow, but at the end of the day, I ended up green, right? There are a lot of people out there hit daily loss limits, blew up their accounts, are out of the game. So I do feel fortunate, and it shows some level of progress, right? Like I'm able to kind of walk away after a solid win and at minimum take a break. I did end up trading a combine like later at night. Who was it? Nate. I don't know if he's in our Discord. I'm gonna invite him in here, or if he's not. But we DM on Twitter. He's a stratter. He posted this, so this was kind of pushing to the upside. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen here. You guys can't see that. So last night he posted when we kind of broke this inside bar high here. Let me zoom in a bit so it's a little more obvious. It's kind of hard with this. So he posted at some point when this was either inside or had just broken to the upside. He posted something about Rev Strat of Death on the 60. So I saw this too, and I ended up just waiting for this shooter candle, and I took a short here for new low a day, and I ended up closing. That was in a combine. Um, Actually made like 600, and then it came back and stopped me out, and I got back in. But this was a great short here, just waiting. If you miss this move, corrective activity, wait for the inside bar. Oh, we're gonna break bull. Nope, sorry bulls. We break bear and just continue dumping. So that was around 11 at night. At that point, I was in bed trying to sleep, but really hard for me to sleep when the market is doing what the market was doing last night. So, even if you missed this whole move down here, you had a great chance to get in, and that, if you got in at the break and held 750 points. So, even 3 micros, 1 micro, 100 points, it's $200, $1,400 on that move down trading 1 micro. That's why I'm upset that I didn't hold some runners because I didn't have to hold, a large position. Could have been very tiny, minimal risk, and just let it ride. But we can't be trading around the clock. We do need to, most of us need to eat and sleep and function. And some of you guys have families and kids and wives, girlfriends, and those things take time out of our day. So we try and get our piece of the pie, be happy with it, move on, not do the, oh, if I had done this. But it's a hard game to not play. Green Day says, thank you for trading live. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I love doing it. I think anybody that is, claims to, well, I'm not going to get into it. I want to share the real experience of trading. I got a great message from somebody in on Twitter the other day, and I'll read it to you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, he sent me a message and said, "So there's light at the end of the tunnel?" Question mark. And I wrote back, "Huh?" And he said, "I saw your results. Pretty awesome. You show the real stuff, negative P&L, wins and losses, and it gives me hope to see that this is possible. That's it. Nice job. Do you have any advice for someone who is struggling? I've passed a few evals but lost them." And that's really why I share it. It's easy to post wins and make yourself look like a badass. That's not how trading works. Like, there's a ton of furus out there who are just, they're spending thousands of dollars on resets, which is fine. You got to understand though that it's a game of, money in versus money out. If you spend 5,000 a month on resets and XFA activations, but you're pulling out 50,000, then you're net positive. But a lot of people don't see or understand that that's what's actually happening here. This was a good short, and I was snoozing on it. This just little move down, corrective activity, right? Red candle, failed two up here. Break the low. We take out these stops and more. So let me get back to, instead of reading Twitter, let's focus on the market here for a minute because we got things moving. We did just go outside hour, and that's going to make it kind of tricky. Could go outside 4 hour though. Missed a good little sniper entry there for 64 points. Also, I'll show you back here. I think I posted in our Discord here. I had the monthly, quarterly, yearly open. You can see we broke through. We come back, we back test, fail. Back test, fail. So I don't always just take an entry off of rejecting those, like the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, the yearly open. But this is why I mark them, because you could have just traded against continuity flip and had really great entries. Back here you can see when the market opened, we pushed up, we initially rejected at that level and pulled back a good bit. Finally broke through, chop around there. Little becomes flippy floppy area. You can see battle here at the same the opening price, back test, almost a back test again. So it's just an area of interest. It's a zone I care about. It's a price I want to be aware of, even if I'm not taking a trade. Just off of that. Ideally, you want to find, like, you get to look for a nice strat setup at that price level. Busy. That's why I love this short. Yeah, I love shorting, man. I really do. It's because you're kind of playing. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, I can't think of it right now. I feel like it starts with a P. But everybody is like market go up, number go up, bull, 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 and I just love to play the opposite side of that. I'm struggling to think of what there's a word that I'm looking for, but it's not coming to me. Laz, do I trade gold? I will occasionally. It's not super often, but if like in the early in the morning, if NQ isn't moving, I look at gold for sure. Comex open at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, I'll take a peek. Sometimes it gets moving at night too. Usually around I think it's 8 o'clock Eastern. So big lower wick here on this 15:30. If we look at the 15 here, dip buyers all over this. So it's just the outside hour makes things a little complicated. But if we do get above the open, I mean, we could flip this candle green and we could get time frame continuity short term on the day, the hour back to the upside. So keep an eye on the 15er, 5 and 15 to see if I want to take a long here. So had this move up, corrective activity. Do we break this candle high and resume pushing up? Or is this going to be a short-lived attempt by buyers? Leamsy says, appreciate your transparency. I think it's important, man. Like anybody who's out there on Twitter posting, just wins or claiming that they're the best trader ever, live trade then, right? If it's that easy, let's see what you're up to. Let's see if you can actually execute. Not just posting the wins, but also the losses, the what's actually going on. You put up a $5,000 winning day, but the rest of the time you're getting your ass kicked. You know, but you only share the win because you're afraid of looking, bad or being judged. I don't care about being judged. Like I've told you guys before, I'm just sharing my experience. I've been doing this for 4 years. I don't claim to be the best trader. I think I've got a strategy, the strat that I trade that works. I think I'm doing a lot of work on myself and my psychology and just trying to get a little bit better every day. And I am, I get some sort of enjoyment in teaching what I know or sharing my experience, some of the setups, how I've adapted over the years, and hopefully that helps somebody else out there. I mean, that's why I talk about my drug addiction history. If somebody is like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that," like that was me too. I struggled through that. There's hope in that message. Like if I could figure it out, and I was in a bad place in my life, and now things are kind of in a much better spot, and I've been clean for a while, and I don't act the same way, and I've really kind of focused on trading and making good decisions and self discipline and all that good stuff. That's what I think is most helpful. I get a ton of messages about like where do you add to positions, how do you scale in. It messes up my break even and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I literally live stream my trading. Now there's not always a trade to take during Globex Asia, but when I'm in trades, I explain everything that I'm doing, the why I'm adding, and I don't care about my break even, being higher. I want massive position size when it gets to my target. So I think it's helpful. It's easy to say, oh, you just put your stop like halfway through the previous candle or whatever. I mean, that's not what I do. I show you guys all the time. I'm using a 2-minute chart to use much tighter stops. But, I'm also looking at the 5, the 15, the 30. Looking at every time frame. I want higher time frame context. And I think it's just, it's more interesting to see exactly how somebody trades than just posting screenshots of the wins or hindsight, like, oh, you guys should have gotten this trade, it ended up being a banger. Well, was it actually? Like, it might look like a banger on a 4 hour chart or a 60-minute chart, but on a 5 minute chart, it was a complete disaster and there's no way you actually stayed in the trade. So, I kind of don't want to hear from people unless they, they'll tell me getting in a trade was easy and then, you didn't take that trade. Yeah, Busy makes it makes an important point here. Keeping the funded account is the real work. It's the goal is to not lose money above all else, right? To keep losses as small as possible and to not burn funded accounts if you're trading prop and not blow up your personal account if you're trading a personal account. That is job number one. The job is not to make money. The job is to not lose money and make money along the way. The job is really to take good trades and the money comes. Give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna pop over. I haven't checked Discord chat. I mean, YouTube chat. Me. I mean, YouTube chat. Shut up, Tom. What's up, Kevin H? Kevin H says I traded last night in London, so didn't have to trade today. Yeah, that was me, man. I sat around for New York Open. I missed that initial pump. I was ready to just trade one micro at a time instead of my three micro starter because of how volatile things were. And I just kind of snoozed on it for a minute, and then by that point it was too late. And then I just didn't have a great feeling that we were going to get a lot of kind of follow through after 1,000 point down, and then 400 or 500 points up. Usually, in my experience, we kind of chop around for a bit, and I didn't want to get cut up, trying to when I was already up 1,800, and I literally just, again, goal is not to lose money. Like, that's all I had to do was not lose money, and I had would have a good day. So I went to bed. I went to sleep. I didn't wake up until like I didn't get up till like 5 o'clock. So I slept from like maybe 10 or 11 till 5, which isn't that long for being up most of the night. But I do enjoy that freedom as a trader to be able to you know kind of work on our own schedule. When the market's volatile, take advantage of it, and then you don't have to trade the next day if you don't want to. Getting better at um, addressing that feeling of like I gotta trade, like I need to be trading today, especially after having a really solid, trading session. Like yes, I was sitting at the charts from open until I ended up catching the trade that I finally took in funded accounts. But I mean that the actual trading where I made money was like 30 minutes of work to make $1,800. Aside from that, it was just kind of waiting, for something good. So, I try and keep things in perspective. It's on my trading plan right here. Reminders, keep things in perspective. Don't be greedy, lock in winners. Right? Some people working all week or 2 weeks for 1,800 bucks. So sitting here clicking some buttons, you know, it's hard to not look at that as just numbers on a screen and you want more and more and more. But think about, I have to think like, what does $1,800 do for me? I mean, that pays my rent basically for the month. Would do I want to just like gamble that money away if I have rent money that I made in 30 minutes? Or do I want to like bank that profit and then just chill out and say, all right, let's look for the next best trade? So that has definitely helped me to keep it real. Kevin says Trump's talking tariffs on China and chip companies. Trump mentioned deep sea, Green Day said about 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago. Anybody know when he's, supposed to end his press conference? I know he has a tendency to like to be in front of the camera there, and he's a showman, so I know he can just kind of talk and talk and talk. I want to be. I don't want him to say something that's going to massively move the market against me. We got an inside 15, inside 30. We got a failed 2 up on the 4 hour. So inside 15, inside 30. Got an outside bar on the 60, which, I say regularly it makes things tricky. It's just a little broadening formation. We could be at the bottom of it and head back towards the top, or we could do expansion through. But failed 2 up on the 4 hour. So a red 2 up. And I'm okay if I don't take any trades and just wait for this 12-hour inside bar, which is marked here, to potentially break to the upside. Doesn't have to. It could also break, we could end up all the way back down here. There could be more selling. Or if we get the 4 hour back in force and we flip the day green, I would be interested in a potential long. But makes it hard for me with the hourly outside bar. It's just is. Let's take a look at gold. So we'll go bigger picture first. Gold. Um, no, I mean inside week. If we can get the back over the monthly trigger here for to get the month in force, I'd be looking back up probably at all-time highs. But gold did sell off with the market today. I mean, right now it's just inside day, inside week, and on the smaller time frames, 4 hour did break to the upside, but is pulling back now. Potential outside bar if this candle flips red on the 4 hour. So I don't really like anything on gold right now because we're we're not like we're not up near the highs here. So for the month to go back and forth, I mean, yeah, there's nothing I like about gold right now. Like there aren't any setups on the weekly, the daily, in the shorter time frames. Started with some outside bars here, which, again, make things complicated. The outside hour. Now, like if we opened here and broke this shooter to the downside, a short would be potentially worth a shot. But looks like there was a small gap down. Tried to sell, didn't. Back up to the highs. Yeah, there's just nothing. I don't have like a great breakdown. There's just not a lot here. Very interesting. Let's take a look at oil. See how oil is doing. Usually like to go to the 4 hour. We'll look bigger picture first. See where oil is. I mean, Oil did what it was supposed to, double inside month, hit its target, and now it's just been all selling. This is why Sarah pounds the table on taking profits at targets. So don't get greedy. You got more than you should have on this. I called this out when this triggered, when this went in force. Just can't hold. I can't hold positions overnight. I got to open a personal futures account, and I got to see what the margin requirements are. So I don't want to get smacked in the face if I'm wrong. But this played out pretty quickly, and it's just been all selling for the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Potential exhaustion, short term, after taking out this low here, this little pivot. But there's no daily setup, and we're inside day, so I mean, worth watching. I'm actually going to set some alerts here on the 4 hour just to give me a heads up if this is actually moving. We could get a potential exhaustion reversal or continuation to the downside. But 4 hour has kind of become my favorite time frame, so it's kind of where I like to start when I look for setups. I mean, obviously the daily, the weekly matters, but I like to see what the 4 hour is doing. Double inside on the 60s. Yeah, metals look tricky to me just because a lot of them have outside bars on the hourly. It's gonna be a little tricky trading with Trump speaking. Uh, Sounds like he might be done. So now I'm going to be more interested in, paying attention to what's happening on the charts, taking some strat setups. Inside 15, inside 30. We got a new 15 candle in about 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Inside bar, inside bar. Just going to be patient. All right, I didn't really get to take I don't think any trades yesterday when the market opened, and then I got off the stream. I ate. I just was keeping an eye on the charts, and then when I saw the selling pressure just was relentless, I started looking to trade, to short any corrective activity, and that's what I did. I find it, waited for a setup to show up and took an entry. Fighting the urge to trade is definitely a skill. Green Day about to be done. Talking about Trump. Yeah, it sounded like he was rapping. I hear it on the TV in the background. So appreciate the heads up. That's why it's nice having a community like this and trading with with a group of people, and you guys help me, I help you. We look out for each other. If I wasn't aware that Trump was speaking, somebody points it out. Hey, Trump's talking. Everybody else is aware of it. We got more eyeballs looking at the charts, more awareness, situational awareness. And it just makes things more interesting, in my opinion. John X, great talk. As always, keep up the good work, sharing information you know about trading and risk. I try to. I mean, I'm doing my best, right? I feel like I should be, I have this problem where I feel like I should be further along than where I'm at, but I often get reminded that, 2 years ago, and I've mentioned it on some of these live streams, that I was happy with any kind of green, right? A $20 win, a $40 win, a $10. If I was green on a trade, it didn't really matter. And now I'm here, 2 years later, frustrated because I only made, only in quotes, $1,800. If I continue to follow my process, if I continue to stick to my rules, in 2 years it'll be probably five. I'll be making, good day will be 5 grand or 10 grand. I hope, and I'll probably be frustrated that I'm not making 20. There's that saying, you are where you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I hate that one, but it is kind of true. And then there's time, things I must earn. Anything of value is just takes time to develop, right? Skills. You don't just wake up one day and you're suddenly a better trader than the guy who's been trading for 14 years. So I know if I just stick to my rules, keep my red days as small as possible, I will get a little bit better each day, each week, each month, and that stuff will add up. But I'm impatient. I want everything yesterday, and I have to fight that. It can be a little challenging. John X says, I know one thing, if you don't follow your process, you ain't going to make shit ever. We both know. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. I struggled for doing the prop thing. I got in this mindset of, oh, it's no big deal. I'll just reset the account. And that's not the right way to approach it. Since the last couple trading days in December and through January, I have had a non-negotiable $350 daily loss limit. Right? Do I like losing 350? No, but I know that on a good trade I can put up 500 or $1,000 or more. So just like I shared in this backup account, I was not feeling great about starting this XFA down $705. But did I like freak out or panic or full port or whatever? No, I scaled into a winning position and it was a little bit red here, down 127, and then we just crushed it. And now I'm back into the green. If I had gone on tilt and let this one of these $350 days become 600 or 900, and then it's I've blown the accounts like that. I've blown brand new accounts starting off like this, and then I come back Monday and be like, I'm already down 700. We're just gonna trade two minis right off the bat. Who cares? And then I end up with no account, and I'm sitting there like, why did you just do that? Oh, that's the biggest change that I've made, and it has saved my ass. It has just kept me safe from myself. Yeah, it's definitely not me. Oh, they're in our server, huh? Usually they're not in our server. We have a bot that automatically bans them, but it may not be running currently. Let's see, server settings, members. Thank you for sharing that. T3. What is this? We're going to ban. All right. Account banned. Thank you. Yeah, it's rare. I mean, I almost never just DM anybody. Like if somebody DMs me and says, "Hey, I need help with whatever," I pretty much always respond. I mean, I actually do. If I didn't respond to you, I just didn't see the message. But I would be surprised if someone sent me a message that I didn't reply to. I keep my DMs open on Discord. They're open on Twitter or X. I know that's not the policy of everyone. I don't think Sarah and Alex on have their Discord stuff open, but that's up to them how they want to kind of do that. But if you guys have any questions, problems, need somebody to talk to, you got a vent, you did something stupid, you don't want to share it in public, just shoot me a message. Anybody on watching on YouTube, since I just started this channel, if you can make sure you're subscribed or give me a thumbs up on this, we'll see if we can start getting the algo to push this channel out there and get some more participation. I'd appreciate it. If not, that's cool too. I'm not going to pressure you, but if you find value in these live streams, give me a little thumbs up. Do I like the 2 minute here? Kind of. Yeah, I mean, we just triggered a 15-minute inside bar up and a 5 minute inside, but I'm a little late on it. Still inside, or I'm sorry, outside hour, but we are close to flipping the day, which I mentioned. These outside bars. I said we could flip this green, flip the day. That's why they're tricky to trade. Just because it was down here, went outside, doesn't mean that it could be the bottom of a broadening formation and we get a reversal back up, which is what's happening right now. Yeah, you can see 15-minute inside bar, broke bull. I mean, you got to be careful. 30-minute inside bar. I think for me, I'm gonna wait for the 30 to close. We got a new 30 in 9 minutes. We got a new hourly flip in 9 minutes. Maybe a little starter here if I had been on top of it a little bit with an ad on the 30-minute inside bar breaking bull if it did or if it does. Oh, I'm on the 1 minute here. I got to go to the 2 minute chart. That's kind of my gets rid of some of the noise. A little bit cleaner. But we got to stay out of this mess right here. This. We're kind of chopping around inside of here. Gotta stay above if we're gonna get anywhere. Might do a little copy trading here. If I see something I really like, at least I'm ready to go. Would love to get a third funded account and then copy trade two and have one as backup. I think I've been disciplined enough where I can copy trade two. The reason I don't copy trade usually now is because if I hit my daily loss, say during overnight, then and I'm copy trading two accounts. I only have two XFAs, so I'd be kind of sidelined, and I don't like that feeling. But I'm willing to risk, 150 to 100 per account on a single trade. If the trade works, great. And give me a little buffer across all of my accounts. If not, I'll unlink them and just trade them individually. Flip in 6.5 minutes. Yeah, this was a nice setup on the 5 minute here, like worth taking a stab at this kind of Momo hammer continuation, but would have been worth a shot. I think looking for like at the having kind of hit the bottom of this broadening formation, something like this. Looking for this to come back through, flip the day, potentially get a new high a day, get the 4 hour back in force. Here's the 4 hour here, pulled back a little bit, got a red two up, so we want to see it take out the previous high. Flip this candle green and get moving to the upside. It's just tricky when we're stuck inside 30. I prefer not to trade inside 30 and the outside hour, but why have a starter position? If I'm wrong, it only costs me 50, $60 if I'm risking 10 points. Gluis, here's my YouTube T3 metrics. Posted in Discord chat there. Yeah, I've mentioned earlier on the stream, throughout the last week or two, I'm going to be, well, now I am streaming on my own YouTube. I was streaming on the Stat YouTube channel, but I switched over on Sunday. I think I'll continue streaming in Discord. I'm just not 100% sure. I would like to, but if I end up not, you can follow me on YouTube. I will continue doing this until I get tired of it, which seems like never. I love trading. I love streaming and talking through my trades. I do it for selfish reasons. Sometimes if I'm just sitting here not explaining the trades, I find myself in a trade it's not really that great. And I think to myself, like, man, if I was live streaming, would I tell anyone else to enter this trade, or would I be comfortable entering this trade if people were watching? And if the answer is no, then it's probably a trade I shouldn't be in. Flip in 3 minutes. Busy said entered a trade and nothing happened. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Really, he says I'd really like the 60 to sort itself out. That three. I feel the same way. I'm just kind of waiting. Like if we break the outside bar up, like if this closes like this hammer candle here, and we break the high, we'll get the day. Day will be green. The hour will be green. The shorter term time frames will be green. Potential expansion outside of this, and we will get the 4 hour back in force. So here's the 4 hour. I'm going to color this because things are a little hard to see here. Let's make this one like bluish color. So you can see the 4 hour will go in force if this 30-minute inside bar breaks bull. So we got a 30-minute trigger right at the 4 hour trigger. So I'll probably take a shot at this. It's worth a little starter position. If I'm wrong, then, no big deal. So we'll see what happens here in just over 1 minute. And you know what I forgot to do, guys? I did not mark up my charts because I was a bit scrambly here. There's the day. I'm going to put the 4 hour here. Here's the day. I mean, that's Jesus. It's a huge range. Usually, this is what I do. I go through, I mark up the daily high and low, the weekly high and low, the 4 hour high and low, and sometimes the hourly. Mark this high of this 60 because that's kind of important to me. Wait, that can't be the day. What's going on here? Okay, that's better. So we want to know where we're at, bigger picture, right? Where are we taking the previous day high or low? Previous 4 hour. No, Brown. We're doing some reshuffling behind the scenes, so roles will change. Right, we got the flip. It's a little late on it. Happened about a minute, 20 seconds ago. So let's go mark this 30 because we got a 30-minute inside bar. So copy the 60 here. Mark this with the 30. It looks like it's breaking. I'm going to take a shot at this, I think. Jesus, why does that stop look so wide? It's like more risk than I kind of want. Wrong direction, guys. Did the ad again? This just seems like a lot of risk. I mean, this is. I mean, I guess it's within my 50 to 100 dollars per for a starter, but it just seems like it's a lot more. I don't know. It just looks like it's kind of far away. Almost add it again. See if we can break this 60 outside bar, get some expansion going, get the 4 hour back in force. 4 hour looks like it's in force. Why is it not labeled on my chart here? What happened to my 4 hour candle? If we get a back test and hold here, hopefully. Oh, not right now. Not looking great. Opt out. Keep an eye on this. I'm going to keep an eye on this. If this re-triggers, I'll jump back in. But not what I wanted to see here. So 2 up red on the 15 and 30. 15, 2 up, 2 up red. This gets going again. I'm going to jump back in, and then that's probably the last trade I'm going to take until we get a better setup. The order book, man, it's pretty thin. Really kind of tricky to manage risk here. These candles are pretty all over the place. Needs to get going if it's gonna go. Struggling. Losing confidence. Closing. Definitely not what I want. I want to see this shooter candle break to the downside. I wanted to see this push up and keep going. It's not what we got. So I'm gonna hop off. I'm going to just keep an eye on things. It's we got this huge 4 hour candle here. Let me clean up some of my charts. What's going on here? What am I doing? Hitting the wrong button? Jesus. Like, even though this is a big range, we got, what we would call mother bar problems. We're trading inside of here, or even, inside of this candle, this range. So, was hoping that we would just break get the 4 hour in force, the 30-minute inside bar up, and get things moving here, but it's just not happening. So I don't want to just take another. I got like another good trade or two before I hit 350. So I'm not going to. I'm going to be picky about the next trade that I take. So I'm actually going to unlink my account so I don't forget to do it later. And try again later. Gonna hop off, guys. Appreciate you being here. Gonna get some food and relax for a little bit. Good luck